Passenger tries to bite flight attendant, then leaps off plane. An American Airlines passenger allegedly tried to bite a flight attendant and then jumped off a plane after it left the gate at Charlotte Douglas International Airport last Thursday. Flight 5242 had just pulled away from the gate and the seatbelt sign was on when a 22-year-old man got out of his seat and tried to open the main door. A flight attendant and 2 passengers then got up to stop the man. The suspect then tried to bite the flight attendant and went looking for another door. He found a door in the galley and managed to open it. He then jumped from the CRJ-200 jet. The man ran toward the taxiway before being intercepted by 2 airport workers. He was booked into federal lockup shortly before midnight. According to an affidavit, the man was halfway through a trip that started overseas and he spoke little or no English. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. You know, maybe you should just drive.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the United crew, please direct your attention to the monitors as we review the emergency procedures. There are 8 emergency holding cells on this aircraft. In some cases, the nearest holding cell may be behind you. Should the cabin experience a sudden overbooking, stay calm. Handcuffs will drop from above your seat. Place the handcuffs on your hands like this. If you are traveling with small children, make sure your cuffs are on first before cuffing your children. In the likely event we call the cops to drag you off because of our own incompetence, please assume the position. A taser is located in a pouch under your seat. To use the taser, aim it at the unruly passenger and pull the trigger. Electricity will do the rest. We remind you that this is a no-holds-barred flight. Refusing to be reaccommodated, disagreeing, or expecting any actual service is prohibited by law. If you have any questions, keep them to yourselves. And thank you for flying the friendly skies.
Delta is pushing United hard in the bad publicity stakes.
So my kid, wait, so my wife, we're going to be in jail and my kids are going to be what?
It's a federal offense if you don't abide by.
Another day, another airline controversy. This time it's Delta in the spotlight for kicking passengers off an oversold flight. Only now it's an entire family with young kids getting booted off and threatened with jail if they don't comply. This video was filmed on April 23rd aboard Delta Airlines Flight 2222 from Hawaii to Los Angeles. It was posted to YouTube on Wednesday by dad Brian Shear from Huntington Beach, California. Shear's wife Brittany started filming when airline staff asked the family to give up a seat they had paid for to make space for another passenger. The couple was traveling with 2 toddlers. The seat was occupied by the couple's 2-year-old son. For safety reasons, they planned to strap him into a car seat placed on top of it. But the airline insisted Brian hold the boy in his lap.
Because he's 2 and under?
Okay, I got a solution. He can sit in her lap. Okay, and then we can take off, and then we can put him back in the car seat. That's what the FAA rules are.
No,
the bottom line
with him being, no they're not. We're pulling him up right now. With him being 2, he cannot sit.
To make matters worse, airline staff said the child could not occupy a seat during the flight because it was against Federal Aviation Administration rules. Which is horseshit. In fact, the FAA recommends the toddlers sit in government-approved car seats for safety purposes. And so does Delta's own website. Oh, and never mind the kid was in the car seat when the Shears flew out to Hawaii in the first place. The issue that Delta used to trip the family up in the end was that the seat was originally booked in the name of Brian's 18-year-old son. But the teen flew back on an earlier flight so his brother would have a seat. The thinking being that otherwise the kid would not sleep on the 5-hour-long red-eye, and it would compromise safety with him crawling all over his parents' laps. But technically, tickets on Delta flights are non-transferable. Eventually, the family accepted that they couldn't win and asked if they could give up the seat and get in the air. Nuh-uh.
Going to have you guys all off the flight, or we're going to be paying the whole aircraft and see where you go
we're getting kicked off this plane no matter what now.
Instead, Delta threatened the family with jail if they didn't all get off the flight. They were told that not having anywhere to stay was not Delta's problem, and the family was on their own. So at around midnight, the Shears had to scramble around for a hotel. They then spent around $2,000 on a new flight leaving the next day. And as if things couldn't get any worse, that flight was with United. On Thursday, Delta apologized and said they'd contacted the family to offer them a refund and additional compensation. Guess Delta just wasn't happy with United getting all the limelight. American Airlines doesn't care about your legs. More than any other airline in the galaxy, American Airlines values its customers. American always goes that extra mile just to make its customers feel comfortable. And this is why the airline among airlines is about to give coach passengers even less leg room. The all-about-comfort airline will be shrinking the space between most economy rows to 30 inches in its newest 737 jetliners. At least 3 rows of super lucky customers will get treated to a whopping 29 inches. You know, so they can feel like they're on Spirit Airlines. Not only will passengers feel cozier, but American will be able to pack in 10 more seats this way. You know, but if American is serious about customer service, they really should be more creative and take out seats altogether. And honestly, who really uses the bathroom during a flight? And what about all the unused overhead space in the cabins and down in the luggage hold? American should consider open air seats as well for passengers who are feeling a little bit more daring. American Airlines. The world's greatest flyers fly like sardines. Say no to safe spaces on YouTube. Support TomoNews at patreon.com/TomoNews. United Airlines drags passenger off flight. United Airlines is facing yet another PR disaster. That's after this footage of a bloodied passenger being forcibly removed from a flight went viral. The man was dragged from his seat as the plane sat on the tarmac in Chicago on Sunday, bound for Louisville, Kentucky. It all kicked off when United needed to get 4 staff members to Louisville, but then realized the flight was already full and no seats were available. Passengers who volunteered to give up their seats and take a later flight were offered $400 in compensation and a free hotel stay. But even when that offer was doubled to $800, there were still no takers. That's when United decided to choose the volunteers themselves, and 4 passengers were randomly bumped from the plane. One couple left the airplane without incident, but the man in the video refused. He said he was a doctor and needed to get back to Louisville to see his patients. United staff told the man that security would be called if he didn't get off the plane. Again, he refused, and that's when things got physical.
No, this is wrong. Oh my God! Look at what you did to him! Oh my...
While this incident was undoubtedly brutal, United is within its legal rights to overbook flights and to remove passengers from their planes. They just have to pay compensation of up to $1,350, depending on the length of the delay. 10 minutes later, the passenger ran back on the plane looking confused. Eventually, all the passengers were made to deboard and go back to the gate while the plane was cleaned up. The plane eventually arrived in Louisville 2 hours late. In a statement, United Airlines apologized for what they described as an overbooking situation, but didn't say sorry to the passenger who was dragged from his seat. In an email to staff on Monday, United CEO Oscar Munoz said the man was disruptive and belligerent. The Chicago Department of Aviation says the security officer who dragged the passenger out of his seat has been put on leave, pending an investigation.